Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Thank you for spending some time with me and watching the video. Greatly appreciate it. This is Hoosier Adventures and my name's Jim. And tonight we're gonna attempt, and I'll pop a picture up here, but I'm working with a 1/64 ounce, which is, I know is going to be a lot harder for you guys to see. But I've tied a jig today, and I'll pop a picture up here of what it looks like. It's a 1/64 ounce with a triple tail on it, which really gives this jig a lot of character. And no, I haven't fished it yet. So fishing is quite a bit slow around here right now. We're like the rest of the country, or this part of the country, where we're seeing excessive heat. And so it's kind of slowed down just a little bit. So we're going to tie this jig up tonight, or attempt to, and show you how that's done. I will tell you, if you're, it takes practice. I've made several attempts at this jig, and before I was satisfied with it. So but anyway, we're going to do that. And then I'm going to talk about a topic that that I think is important to hit on. I answered a question on Facebook the other day, and it's about sonars. Which brand do you go with? And, I probably get asked that 100,000 times a year, and I'm sure it's posted out there a ton. And I always tell people the same answer, okay? It just depends on your type of fishing and your budget. And, I've been fishing, everybody knows I use Lowrance, but I've been fishing with Lowrance flashers and graphs and their products since 1986. And any sonar system that you choose to go with, you need to be able to learn it, master it. And I highly recommend, I know there's guys out there, they'll have Garmin, they'll have Lowrance, or they'll have Humminbird and Garmin, or Humminbird and Lowrance. These are computers now, and knowing them inside and out is critically important, and understanding that information that's coming back to you is critically important. There's a lot of people out there that don't like forward-facing sonar, and there's limitations, in my opinion, of how you use that. We're all stewards of the wildlife, our natural resources, and if you're somebody that's going out there and taking advantage of it with this technology, well, shame on you. But if you're somebody out there that totally respects our resources and wants them around forever and ever, then, it's not a bad thing, It's informational. Do I think forward-facing sonar puts more fish in the boat? It can. I don't use live bait, but I do, every now and then I'll tip with scent, whether it's power baits or spray, just for the scent purpose of it. But we also are respectful to the nature side of things. It's something that I am a big believer in. And, if you're somebody, you could be a bank fisherman, and here in Indiana, the daily limit on crappie is 25. That doesn't mean you go home and clean 25, go back and catch another 25. Stay within the limits of your state. Stay within the regulations of your state. And it doesn't matter whether you've got forward-facing sonar or you're fishing from the bank. Stay within the limits of it. Just, use common sense out there. And, it'll go a long way. Now, all this information, sonars, I fish with Carl. He uses Garmin. I've always been a Lowrance guy. And it's because I've spent years, perfecting, what I know about Lowrance and stuff. So is one better than the other one? I don't think so. I mean, it comes down to your knowledge base and how you're using it and, what you expect out of it. I've heard people say, well, this one's more user-friendly and this one's more user-friendly. If there's so many YouTube videos out there that you can use to learn these graphs, it's incredible. And trust me, in 1986, they weren't as complicated, I'll give you that. But you had to read the manual in order to figure it out. And then I started with a flasher. It was a unit that set up on my CNF little aluminum bass boat, and you drop the thing over the side of the boat, and that's how we used it. To slowly, coming through the ranks of where we actually had 2D sonar. Nothing compared to what we have today. But all these graphs come with, their pros and cons. And if you post out there on Facebook, hey, what's the best graph out there? You're going to get Humminbird, you're going to get Lowrance, you're going to get Garmin, you're going to get them all, okay? Because it's whatever that person's using, and they know it, I'll tell you right now, Carl knows, live scope like the back of his hand. I don't know nothing about it, okay? Same with me with active target, and this is only my second year using that kind of technology. And, so I spend a lot of time studying it, practicing, dialing it in, and, it does take time, but once you learn every aspect of what you're looking at, then your confidence goes way up. So I didn't even tell the gentleman what I was using on Facebook. I said, I'm not even going to tell you what I'm using. Here's what my best suggestion is. You can go to Cabela's or Bass Pro Shop and you can spend, an hour in there on their grouse and whether it's Humminbird, Garmin, Active Target, whatever, and play with them and figure out what works best for your eyes, the information you're looking for the style of fishing that you're doing, okay? That is in your price point. You can sink a ton of money in this. Trust me. I know that for a fact, okay? And it's just not, it's too easy to go outside of your budget on this stuff. And, I saved for a long time to be able to have what I have out there. But most people would not spend that kind of money to have that also. So, just stay within your budget of your style of fishing and don't get peer pressured into, overspending or a particular brand. Because the worst case that could happen is you spend thousands of dollars and it's all hooked up on your boat and you don't like it, okay? And at that point, and I see this all the time in postings, it's a piece of junk. When in reality, it's not that it's a piece of junk, it's, you haven't learned everything you need to know about it. I have frustrations with forward-facing sonar all last year because, what I thought I was doing right, come find out, I wasn't. And, once I got it all figured out and stuff, it really blossomed. So that's my best advice on any electronic package. I struggled with the Ghost last year. I went from a Tarova and to a Ghost, and I struggled with it. I went from a standard bass boat to a Deep V Nitro ZV19, completely different boats. And so I had to work through those struggles and how all that kind of come together and stuff. And this year we've enjoyed ourselves immensely out there fishing without all that stress. So, just take your time, do your due diligence, spend the time, you know, and trust me, my wife wouldn't have to twist my arm to go to a Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's for the day. And I'm sure some of you guys out there probably don't need your arm twisted either. So go there and just spend some time and play with them. They've got them on simulations and stuff, and just figure out, you know, what is giving you the best information that you're looking for. And it doesn't matter about brand. Trust me, it really doesn't. But once you brand up, now it's time to study and learn it. Spend the winter months, you know, when you're not fishing or hunting or whatever. And you know, there's a lot of great guys out here on YouTube that they can show you an awful lot. And it doesn't matter whether it's a Lowrance or Garmin or Humminbird. It just doesn't matter. There's a ton of guys out there with a wealth of knowledge. And you know, I don't think by far that I'm one of those guys. I mean, I show how I set my stuff up. Hopefully that helps some of you that has the same electronics as me. But at the end of the day, you know, am I promoting Lowrance as the best? No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Do I enjoy fishing on Carl's boat with live scope? Sure. Do I enjoy fishing on Carl's boat with Garmin? Sure. As long as he's running it, because I don't know, I don't have a clue about it. Okay, and I think it's a law. If he was part of the video, you'd hear him say the same thing. So hopefully that information helps you guys a little bit. And if you got any, you know, comment, you know, put your views in the comments. You know, I mean, everybody's got pros and cons, okay, and everybody's got an opinion, and we need to respect those opinions. But my best advice, though, is figure out what works for you, and don't be peer pressured into one brand or the other. Figure that out by using the demonstration models that are available to you. All right, if anybody's got any questions, obviously feel free to leave me a comment or email me. So let's get into the jig tonight. So we're tying a 1/64 ounce round ball, number 8 sickle hook jig, okay? As I always start, we're going to start with the glue first. Hard as nails. And again, a lot of my stuff comes from Woods and Water Outdoors. Patrick and them over there. We're going to wrap down all the way just a little bit past this hook point. Now I will tell you, I'm pretty proud of myself on this jig, to be honest with you. I think this jig is going to be fantastic. It's definitely an attention getter, if nothing else, but I think it's going to catch a lot of fish. All right, here's what we're going to tie in there tonight. Okay, this comes from Woods and Water Outdoors. It's basically a triple tail. Okay, so the very first thing you got to do is you're going to only come down about halfway on this shank, and then we got to wrap. Now I know my big fat fingers are in your way, but basically, if you can see that, I want to make sure that that's wrapped up in there. Now, when you're wrapping or tying this in, you're going to start very slowly, okay? Very slowly. And then once you get a couple of wraps around the tip here, you want to go back around the shank, okay? Because when you pull on it, if you don't, that was the hardest part, was keeping all this body in form here. It wants to pull around, but if you hook into your shank right here, it won't do that. Okay, and then we're just going to come back. We're going to make some more soft loops and right back to the shank. Okay, and then that allows us to continuously maneuver this right where we want it. Okay. What I'm looking to do is I want to keep the center tail here straight in line with the shank. That's important because that dictates how this jig swims. Okay? If it's off to one side, you're going to get a crookedness, or it's not going to swim right. It actually looks god-awful. Trust me, I know. Now, once we've got this cinched in, now we're just going to wrap this up. And I'm just looking to get the body uniform now, because we're going to actually use what's called a crystal chenille on this. So there's going to be some flash to these things. As you can see from the picture that I popped up earlier in the video, that one was a chartreuse tail, black round head with a number 8 sickle hook with some crystal flash purple on it, which is one of my favorite colors out there. And this one here is my buddy Floyd's favorite color combination. He really likes fishing this color combination here. So we might just give this one to Floyd. Floyd, if you're watching the video, you might end up with this one. Which, by the way, Rebecca and I have been getting ready for our big fish fry. We kind of use it to celebrate our birthdays, but it's more about just getting with our friends and family and enjoying some time. My birthday is actually July 1st and hers is July 3rd. And as you can imagine, trying to do anything on the 4th of July weekend, well, it just doesn't happen. Okay, so now that I've got this body pretty well built the same all the way across, what I want to do now is because this is all it's holding that tail right now, other than the hardest nail glue on the shank. I'm going to put like 3 or 4 wraps here. I'm going to wrap that in and I'm going to cinch that up real good and tight. We want to make sure that, you know, when the crappie comes up here and smashes this thing, that it doesn't rip it apart. All right. So now we've got that part done. This is our crystal flash, okay? Crystal flash obviously looks a lot different than regular chenille body. The reason I like to use crystal flash on this small of a jig is, if you can imagine even small chenille, it doesn't take much to bulk this up. I'm trying to keep the body proportionate to the tail so that all 3 tails are swimming and providing some kind of motion. Motion creates vibration. Vibration creates your strikes. So, you know, if the fish sees it or feels it or smells it, we want what's going to trigger it is the motion of these tails. So we're going to tie this crystal flash in. And guys, take your time doing these, okay? Trust me when I tell you, I've had a ton of practice with these things for the last week or so, trying to figure out how to tie it. Because it's a small jig head. In fact, I've even tied down to a 1/80th ounce. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap this crystal flash up. And again, I'm real careful with this stuff, because there's a certain look that you want to form to the body. And as you're rolling this up onto the body, okay, now we're going to tie that crystal flash in. You know, I made a post on Facebook, and by the way, guys, we got a group page on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, look us up, because that's where we'd like for you guys to post your fishing pictures, your camping pictures, your cooking pictures, you know, whatever you want to share with us. We'll feel blessed that you're doing that, because obviously here on YouTube, it's not like you can share your pictures with us. And it's under Hoosier Adventure, so you can look us up on there. And there's a link in the description for you. And I'm on there a ton, so if you reach out to me, I'll definitely answer to you. All right, so there we have it. And that is a triple leg 1/64 ounce number 8 sickle hook crappie jig right there, guys. Now you put that with the one that I tied earlier, that I shot a picture up of. And, you know, I can do these now with, you know, monkey milk, with silver body pink head, which is another favorite color of mine, you know. So now that I figured this out, you know, that's pretty cool. But I mean, you can see how that hook is nice and centered up on that tail. So any strikes at all, you know, you're gonna capitalize on them. So we might turn this into a little bit of a contest if you guys are interested. Leave me a comment, and maybe I'll give 2 or 3 of these away to a viewer. If you guys are interested in a little bit of a contest, put it in the comments down there. Say, hey, yeah, let's do this. And if I get, let's just say if I get 5 comments that says, yeah, let's do a giveaway on it, then I will tie up one of these. This one here. And we'll do the monkey milk silver shablin, and we'll do let's see, what other one can we do? I guess I better look at my tails. We'll do a blue one. Blue's a good color too. White head, monkey milk, blue body. We'll do one of those. So you'll get 4. You'll get these 2 plus the 2 monkey milk ones, 2 monkey milk colors. So if you guys are interested in a contest, and let me know in the comments. Say if I get 5 comments that says, hey, let's do a contest, then basically what I'll do on the next video, which will be our cookout video. So you got a few days here. And if I get 5 comments that says, yeah, let's do a giveaway, then what I'll do on that next video, I'll let everybody know that we've got enough comments to do it. And then it's a simple email. Costs you nothing, okay? I promise you, it costs you nothing. You'll shoot me an email, please enter me in, and then Rebecca and I take the names, we put them in a hat, and I hold it up, and she reaches in, draws a name, and then we'll notify you by email, hey, you won. And we'll get your address, and I'll mail them to you, okay? So you can have these jigs. So everything we do is completely fair and straight up and honest with people. So let me know. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video tonight. You know, we talked about, you know, the electronics, and that kind of just resonated with me after, you know, the Facebook posting and stuff, and I thought it was critically important to kind of touch base on that. So hopefully you guys got something out of that. And for those of you that, you know, use different products and stuff, you know, I wouldn't try to swing people, but, you know, there's pros and cons to everything. But you might shoot in the comments what you like best about the particular one that you own, you know. It might help somebody, you know, and really that's what this is all about. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hey, if you liked the video, do me a favor. Please give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. We're up to 120 some subscribers now, which is awesome. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate that. And, you know, obviously we still got the goal. Our goal was 1,500 subscribers this year. So I'm not giving up on it. I'm not giving up on you guys. We're going to continue to put out content, good content, and share our thoughts and stuff with you. And if you really enjoyed the video and you're inclined, hit that subscription button, okay? And that notification bell, because it's free. Okay, but it does help the channel. If you know anything about YouTube algorithm, trust me, it really, truly helps. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to call it a night on this video, and we'll see you on the next video. And please do me a favor. Be kind, everybody. Good night. We'll see you on the next video.